This
Culture Festival.
conference will now be recorded.
And my main area of interest is One Health and anaerobic microbiology with special concern, and also I am certified master trainer for the better pedagogical skills from Qatar and Canada. So here, what is because I will be main focus on what are the foodborne diseases and foodborne illness, more commonly referred as the food poisoning, and the result of eating contaminated spoiled food or the toxic food. And most commonly, symptoms of the food poisoning include the nausea, vomiting, and the diarrhea. And according to the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, 1 in 6 people will contract some form of the food poisoning in every year. So here you can have a glimpse about the famous culprit behind the foodborne diseases. They categorize in the four major categories: bacteria, for the bacterial, virus, fungi, and parasites. So these are the most commonly used organism for foodborne illnesses required for the development of the diseases in different aspect of the environment, animal health, and human health as well. For example, E. coli, Salmonella, Staphylococcus, aureus, and streptococcal diseases, they are more common in bacterial list. And according to the CDC estimate, 100,000 cases and 20,000 hospitalization by the Salmonella infection every year. Norovirus also caused over 19 million cases of the food poisoning each year, and the fungi and more and parasitic infestation they are more commonly as well. So here, main method of causing foodborne disease by the pathogen, and the strategy is number one is the toxin production, and the strategy number two is going in the body as live cells, and strategy three consume both toxins and the live cells. So these are the three main streams for the development of an infection caused by the different pathogens. So these are the three strategies for the infection development. Main causes for the foodborne diseases: microbes transferred from one surface to the food to another, transmitted to the human and also the animals, and the time and temperature abuse. This is most critical factor to the development of the disease. If the temperature or the range is not well monitored, so the production of the toxin will be increased and it may spoil the food quality as well as will lead to some food related issues. The food is exposed to the temperature danger zone, for example 41 to 140 Fahrenheit degree centigrade for the more than 4 hours. Personal hygiene, food preparation and the handling, and the food service personnel can contaminate the food. So here is one more important factor is the hygienic measures of the food handler as well. If the food handler is not taking care about the hygiene properly, so it may serve as the source of infection to the community. So the other thing is how dangerous of foodborne pathogens can be. Only few viral particles are necessary for the disease to develop, and a high number of viral particles are further transmitted via the feces of the infected person. Up to 10 to 11 particles per gram of the feces are the sufficient to develop or may cause the disease. And viruses that infect via gastrointestinal tract are excreted in the feces and may also be present in the vomit, and viruses are transmitted into the directly from person to person. Bacterial pathogens cause severe gastrointestinal symptoms like diarrhea and vomiting, especially risky and vulnerable groups. Such E. coli strains included HUS, a severe condition affecting the children characterized by the kidney failure and anemia. Invasive bacteria like Listeria can lead to systemic infection and complications such as meningitis, poisoning, long-term health risk, and post-infection. And it also affect the females that are pregnant female and Listeria, and may cause abortion. And also the Listeria monocytogenes and Listeria ivani, both are the responsible for the human diseases and for zoonotic importance of these bacteria. So here you can see that how pathogen entered into the food chain. For here you can see that the microbes, and that is come from the environment, and the food animals, if they are carrying the infection and we don't cook the food properly, and after the consumption of that uncooked or the improper cooked food by the humans, it may lead to develop the infection and may disturb the health as well. So here we can discuss about how one health is related to development of the disease. Here in this picture you can see very clearly that the environment, food animals and human, they are interconnected with this in this triad. So one health is basically the triad, the environment, human health, and the animal factor is also there. So we have to take care about the environment, because from the environment animals take their maybe the grazing somewhere, and somewhere we have to feed that on the feeds and some other fodders. So if the say if our feed is contaminated, if our silage or some other things that we offer to the animals is not appropriate, so it may lead to develop diseases in the animals. And if that disease is not clinically seen in that particular animal, so it may serve as the reservoir of the disease. And if the same pattern, the food is not cooked properly, so it can lead to develop the clinical sign and symptom in the human being. So the One Health is the collaborative interdisciplinary approach that recognizes the interconnectedness of the human health, animal health, and the environment. So there is need to collaboration among the human health, veterinary health, and environmental health sector. So in this, we can work in a collaborative efforts to control, to make sure that we can minimize the hazards of the disease to maybe either it's related to the human health, either related to the veterinary health, and also environment is very important. So if our environment is healthy, so we also can spend our life in a healthy manner. So here exemplify One Health with the foodborne diseases. The foodborne diseases serve as the prime example of the One Health approach by the highlighting the intricate the connection between humans and animals and environment in the transmission, prevention, and control of infectious diseases. And collaborative efforts across sectors are crucial for effectively addressing the safety and safeguarding the public health. So here also one other factor, if we are consuming the vegetables, so the cleanliness of the vegetables is also very important, to wash them appropriately and then consume. So main factor in the One Health, so if we divide this broad area into the three major factors, so we can define it. The number one is zoonosis, because zoonosis, it may either it's anthrazoonosis or it's reverse zoonosis. So this is very important factor. So antimicrobial resistance, that is the emerging threat nowadays. So this could be source of resistance to the towards antibiotics or antimicrobial agents. So in my view, I oftenly address on this. So not only the consuming of the antibiotic is the key cause for the AMR, so we also have to address, or we also have to see the crops of or the vegetable or the cereals we are consuming, that is also the potential source of the AMR, either in the form of the feed or any other antimicrobial sprays we are doing to the crops or the cereal crops. and the residues may reside inside the crop, and we never know about this, and it could be the potential source for the antimicrobial resistance as well. So along with the antimicrobial resistance, the main factor is environmental contamination. So if we don't have the proper cleanliness of the environment, so it may lead toward the environmental contamination, and that has leads towards the human health distortion and may cause the deterioration of the human health. So as a sum up, where the foodborne diseases come from in the real life. So the true factor is meat and milk. The meat and milk are the main reservoir for the infectious agents. Either it's the poultry meat, either it's the beef, either it's the mutton, or either it's any other sort of the meat. So if the meat is not properly cooked, it may lead towards many diseases. And if the same way we don't consume the pasteurized milk, it also be the source of the diseases like listeria or listeria monocytogenes is also one of the leading cause, and also mycobacterium tuberculosis, the TB, is also the leading cause. If we don't use milk, pasteurized milk, or if we use the raw milk, it can cause the disease as well. And undercooked meat or improper cooked meat, the Salmonella, Campylobacter, and Clostridium. These are the main culprit for the health issue regarding to the improper dealing of the improper cooking of the meat. Contact with the wildlife. So also here the many zoonotic pathogens like Escherichia coli, Staphylococcus, Clostridium, Campylobacter, Listeria, and Cordia species, and Fusobacterium necrophorum. So these are the most common pathogens that can be leads to develop the diseases to human beings or the handlers towards the wild animals. Soil contamination is also the very important, and hygienic condition. Like in hygienic conditions, the sulfur producing bacteria are very common. So this is why it is important that we have to make the our environment clean, and hygienic measures must be adopted properly. And contact with the domestic animals, if we don't go for the vaccination properly for our pets, so it may lead to develop some zoonotic disease transfer, like many other. If we don't vaccinate our dogs or the cats, it may be leads towards the, if they bite to their owner, it may lead to develop some potential threat like the rabies, and some Lyme disease is also very important in this context. So we have to take care about all these consideration, and then we have to deal with the one health perspective. So environment factor, the water quality, the soil contamination, the air quality, climate condition, natural disaster, and wildlife and the pest control management is very important. And environmental pollution is also the key indicator to indicate either our environment is healthy or not. Because the green environment is more soothing and more oxygen in the environment, and may leads to develop the healthy person. So if there is no environmental cleanliness there, so it may lead to increase the respiratory issue in the humans. So the prevention. So here you can see that the break the one health chain. So human health, animal health, and environmental health. So these have three factor, or these when the triad makes, so it will lead toward the substantial resilience and adaptation, individual communities for the well-being, and the subsistence food, the food safety and sustainability, and healthy wildlife, population and environment, safe air, water, plant-based food, and shelter, and the sanitation. So here is the way the eat hygienic food. Number second is surveillance is very important. Integrated approach and the policy making. So if we have the proper the things, this can be the leading toward the environmental health and environmental safety as well. So this was about the brief. So now I will come about toward the question. So the first question was, what about the contaminated and the infected eggs? So if we talk about the eggs are or the infected eggs. These the infected eggs are the most potent, or the raw eggs are the potent source of the salmonellosis. So if we have to cook the egg properly, that is fine. If we are using the uncooked eggs, it may lead towards the Salmonella infection. So the next question is how soil contamination affect. Soil contamination may decrease the fertility of the soil, like if we are going to sow some other wheat or some other cereal grain. So if the microbiota of the soil is disturbed, so it may lead to develop some bad quality of the food, and that affect the soil fertility as well. So that's why the soil health is very important. And in our one of my collaboration with the soil scientists, so they also use this phenomena. So the role of the vet is the vet is in the meat industry or the egg industry, its role is to maintain the healthy eggs and healthy meat via the different testing. So we have developed many tests for to check either or the. So these are the most, the role of vet is very crucial, because I think the vet can work as a liaison. Please, and the role of social aspect in this background, because according to my understanding and my experience, the grooming, the training, or we can say that the guidelines to the farmers is very, very important. We have to guide the everybody how the human health, how the animal health is important. So the counseling is very, very important in this aspect. So we have in our session, we every monthly we have to conduct the different meetings with the farmers, with the producers at the local level, so that we can guide them, we can educate them how they can control and the diseases, and how can they be the effective person to develop the healthy food. So the all these factors are very important, but the role of the veterinarian or the animal production person who are dealing directly with the, either if they are the fattening of the beef, either they are dealing with the mutton or the milk, or even though the farmer who are dealing with the agriculture. So all persons are very, very important. So that's why their counseling and education about these aspects is very, very important. And we came to know that many persons, they didn't know about how they are the potential worker to control these things. So after the multiple meetings and multiple sessions, so now we have the good results, and the things are getting better day by day. Please share first slide. This one.
Uh, we will get back to the questions in the chat box after Professor Muhammad finishes his presentation. So please bear with us. Thank you. Please go ahead, Professor.
Thank you. So here we are talking about the environmental factors. So my experience with this is now a lot of work is in the environmental factor now, because the water quality is and water scarcity is the main issue of the world right now. So we also have to make some strategic measures to save the water, and also if our environment is not so healthy, and so the air quality will be disturbed as well. So your sound is not audible. So I think I am audible to all.
No, it's a clear, Professor. Please go ahead.
So the air quality index is very important. So if the environment is not so clean, so it directly affect the air quality, and that is also lead to the respiratory issues in the human health as well, and also in animals. So we have to take this very seriously, so that the air quality and the soil, our environment, they are directly related with each other. So we have to use those materials that are the easily degradable, and don't use like those materials that cannot be so difficult to degrade, and that affect the fertility of the soil as well. And natural disasters and wildlife and the pest control, because now also with the disaster and the earthquake in many area of the world, the wildlife is also very badly affected, and that is due to the disturbance of the ecosystem. So we also have to make at least integration with the wildlife, so that it can be save our natural ecosystem. And environmental pollution also, if that comes from the burning of the plastic and other related, or maybe the dump area is very important. And also we have to take about all the material that are easily degradable. We have to take care in our daily routine. So if the break the one health chain, that can also be the source of the infection, or the, maybe you can say that if the breach is there, so maybe it affects the directly one area. So human health, animal health, and environmental health, that is very important for our for each. So we cannot say that either one health is only the human health is important, or only the animal health is important, or either the environmental health is important. I think and I suggest that at the same time, all these three factors have the crucial role and interconnect with each other. So in this way, we have the combined effort to make this, and human health is indirectly if we have safe and healthy food, and that will ensure the human health. And on the same pattern, if they have the environmental health, if we have safe and sound, and the plant is abundant and have the oxygen in abundance, so that we have also very clean and the neat and very oxygen friendly environment, and that is also impact on human and animal health as well. So all the person who are working in these three domains, they are equally important, because as a result they are also serving to the one health that is important for human, animal, and environmental as well. So eat hygienic food, very important. We have to take care about the our hygiene, our hand and our food and everything, where we are sitting, where are we eating, and don't eat unhygienic food or the bad food as well. And the surveillance is very important, and keep an eye from where you are buying your meat and egg or anything that is related to you are going to eat. Must ensure the quality of that thing, and that is integrated approach and the policy making. Because we practice all these things, that this will help to write the policy makers to identify the potential threats, and they can give you the potential solutions towards the control of this strategy. So this is all about my presentation. So now I think I will be more than happy to answer the question. Already I answered many questions. So there is one question: the hygienic slaughterhouse has a vital role. Exactly, I'm agree with 100%, because if you don't have hygienic environment, so that will lead to contaminate the meat, and contamination of the meat will lead to contaminate and deteriorate the quality of the meat, and that will lead, if a human being consume this, it will disturb the human health. And how we can integrate the sociological fabric to ensure the food safety under one health umbrella. because the sociological fabric to ensure the human health umbrella, because I as mentioned that the grooming or the guidance to the environmental about the facts, the person who are directly dealing with these factors, either they are connected with the animal health, either they are in the farming, either they are with the milk producing or any other things. So the counseling or their education is very very important, because if we don't have the connection with the farmers, if we are not conducting the sessions, training sessions or the counseling sessions to the farmer or the producers, so this will leads the great hurdle to develop the quality things. So this social work or the socio-economical important factor are very very important to conduct. And definitely if the person is socially connected with the farmer and they are, he or she is going to educate them, so that is why they are going to produce healthy meat or healthy things. So the healthy things, they will come under the umbrella of One Health. So livestock disease surveillance of the food animals is also important. Yes, I agree. Livestock disease surveillance is very important. So that's why. So in this regard, I would like to mention that the seasonal surveillance is, if we say that the seasonal surveillance, like it means that, so in some countries, some areas, uh, like many other diseases like Pastorella multocida for the FMD, these diseases are still the headache for the government and for the controllers, controlling authorities. So we also have to take and keep an eye on them so we can control easily. Along with that, some diseases that are commonly found in some area, local area, and so in this regard, the local vaccination or the hygienic measure can lead to develop good strategies. So because sometimes the local strategy works more effectively, so we have to consider and make develop with the consultation with the local experts. Yes, any other question please?
Uh, Thank you so much, Professor Muhammad Umar, for your awesome presentation. We would like to ask the audience, in case they have any question, please raise your hand and unmute yourself. Thank you.
So here I would like to pay my gratitude towards the organizer and giving me this opportunity, and thanks once again. And I will be more than happy to answer. And are there any evidence-based One Health policies for the food safety?
And
Mr. Yes, ma'am. Yes, please.
maybe we can have another session related to the One Health policies and foodborne and food safety, let's say, if you wish, maybe after 2 weeks. What do you
Okay.
think?
I will be more than happy to conduct, because these are my area of expertise. So I will be more than happy to share my personal experiences as well as the local some strategies. So I will be available and more than happy. So you just let me know about the date and the time. I will be available for that.
Awesome. So, Adi, we are going to have a webinar and a further discussion with Professor Muhammad about the evidence-based One Health policies for food safety. So don't worry about that, dear. We will have further discussion. Um, uh, Thank you so much, Professor Muhammad Omar, for your awesome presentation. We will share the recording with our awesome attendee later on, as well as the certificate. We would like to ask from the audience, could you please just type down or write down your full name in English as well as your email address in order to share the certificate with you. Also, please join our WhatsApp group, our WhatsApp channel to get to know more about our updates and the upcoming or the next um, event with the Professor Muhammad Omar, maybe let's say after 2 weeks maximum. in order to publish our activity. So thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much for your time, Professor Muhammad. It was awesome presentation. We will stop recording.